Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we search for the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, one well-to-do German citizen at a time. My name's Tom Taylor.
My name's Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher St. Flocculus Porter.
That one's made up.
Yeah. It's not. He was the Bishop of Orleans. Died in 480 AD of natural causes.
Wow.
I stand
That's
corrected.
Yeah.
Well, I have no historical note to leave you all with, but hi, it's me, Evan Jacover. I was born in 1976. I work at Jackbox Games, and now here I am.
That's right. It's been Jackbox week so far this week. We had your buddy Ryan on the past couple of days, and now here you are.
Yeah, he's all right.
Chained to the same radiator he was chained to yesterday.
Yeah, he's right here. We're being very quiet for each other's segments. Stop moaning, Ryan.
It's not polite, Ryan. Stop it. Well, thanks for joining us again. You too were here with Ryan for the opening of the Ark of the Covenant and the almost skewering of Indiana Jones in Short Round and a thing in the Temple of Doom. And now here you are on a Zeppelin. I almost said blimp. I would have gotten yelled at. This is a Zeppelin.
What is the difference between a Zeppelin and a blimp? Have you covered that already?
We have, but I already forgot.
I don't care.
Oh, a Zeppelin's got an actual frame, right? An actual
metal frame.
Yeah. Well, and the Zeppelin was the company. You know, there was an actual company founded by, it was Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. And so that's sort of like a Kleenex. You know, it's a proper noun.
Yeah. We're going to learn even more about... actually, that's not true at all. We're not going to learn a thing. But we're going to have fun with minute 73.
I feel like I'm like in the front row of the classroom. I just raised my hand.
You finally worked your way up there.
Yeah,
What a
my
nerd.
hand rifled up totally.
Cool kids don't answer any questions. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
I'm just going to draw on the desk.
Just going to write the Doors symbol on the desk. We're here for minute 73 to scribble on the surface of 73, which begins with a doomed Zeppelin steward placing a dish on Indy and Henry's table, and it ends with Indy punching Vogel in the face.
Pete Mummert loves this dirigible Parlour Mischief music.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, it's the best.
Yes, it's exactly like, you know, Vincent Price meets the Grinch. It's like doom, 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 boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
It's borderline Gilligan's Island, kind of.
Yeah. No, it is. And there's like, you know, some guy shows up on Gilligan's Island with like a magic coconut. And he, you know.
Sneaking around the tree.
Exactly. I don't know if it's in there or not, but it's got a, somewhere I know this musical number ends with the timpani going boom, boom. It's that sort of vibe.
Indy gets up to stalk this doomed steward, and he's visibly taller than this guy, isn't he?
He is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like 5 inches taller and like 50 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
And I forget, does that kind of comes into like he's like when he finally gets the jacket on later, it's noticeably small, right?
Right. It's too short for
He's
him.
stuffed
Okay.
into it. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's just poured into it.
I feel like they could have played that up just a little bit more, maybe.
Wow.
Like I can't believe I'm asking for more
Tom,
of a gag, but
Tom coming down on the side of fun.
On the side of, you know what's weird though is it seems like it's neither. It's like there's such a discrepancy between the two when they're walking side by side. But then when Indy does have the uniform on, I don't really notice that it's wrong or like malfitting.
Yeah, if you're looking for it, you can see it, but it's not
If you're looking for it, you're
popping
like, oh, it's
buttons or
clearly short.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
It looks like, now that I'm looking at it, he doesn't even get that bottom button buttoned. It's just, he gets two of the buttons.
He doesn't even
and he's
try.
like, this is... That's how I feel putting on my suit these days. It's like, is anyone looking at me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's a mess.
I haven't worn this in a year.
And I like he comes out of the changing room and he immediately turns back around. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
He did his little pirouette.
Does he say something to the guy as he's putting his arm around him? As Indy's putting his arm around the steward?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Does
yeah,
he say something, or
does.
is it the guy at the table in front of him? I can't tell.
No, he's talking to him.
That's weird. What does he say?
Well, I think it's fascinating because you expect them to go off screen and you expect to hear like and like dishes crashing and all kinds
Right.
of crazy fighting sounds.
Yeah.
And then Indy comes out wearing the thing. But it seems like he would have had to gone in and just give the guy $20 and say, hey, can I borrow your jacket for a minute?
Oh, that'd be nice.
Because no, I think he had to, because you'll see in a minute that the stewards are all walking around and Indy and his dad are just sitting there and everything's fine. Like, I don't think he could have beaten the guy up on this tiny little cabin and then still just go on with the flight like nothing happened.
There
Right.
can't be a lot of surprises on a Zeppelin. I mean, if you're like on an airplane,
True.
you're mid-flight and someone's like, your shift's up, it's like, oh, well, who are you? Okay. There's 3 flight attendants on this plane, but yeah, I guess so. Taking a break.
I have no idea if he say he punches the guy or knocks him out with a frying pan or something, because I'm assuming it's like the kitchen.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, maybe there's one of those gunk, and then
Right.
does he? I guess he stuffs them in the broom closet.
They should have shown him on the pile of luggage.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Like maybe that's where he got the idea to throw Vogel out, like in a later scene.
Yeah.
Like how, because it's such a small cabin.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is when you guys see Indy follow the waiter out and befriend him, do you already know what's coming?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're like,
Indy's
oh, he's
pulled this
gonna
trick
merge
before.
Yeah.
wearing a white jacket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done it 5 times in this movie already, like in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
I know.
Or maybe you know what? Okay, he puts his arm around the guy and he says something. Maybe he's saying, hey, where do you keep all your extra jackets and hats?
Oh, yeah.
And like he doesn't beat the guy up at all. He just goes to like their locker or something.
They're all extra small.
Right. That's all I got left is extra small. You cool with that? Yeah, sure.
You think he got on with that huge trench coat and he's like, God, I'm freezing. Do you have like a petticoat I could borrow?
Or he traded him. He's like, hey, would you like a nice leather coat? Yours free.
Yeah.
Those weren't cheap in the 30s.
Yeah.
Yep. And Indy, when he comes out of the radio room, which is kind of nice foreshadowing.
See, I thought that was maybe like the kitchen. Like the guy, okay, so he follows the guy and they take a step up. If you notice, they take a step up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's like they go all the way upstairs. I just assumed that little area to the left was like the kitchen.
But I think because above the door it says only for crew radio, like radio station or radio room.
I always thought he came out the same door he went in. I never noticed that.
Well, I think it is. It must be this. I don't know if it's the same door or not. But when he comes out, like he must have, while he was in there, that must have been when he broke the radio.
You are making a lot of comments about radios and stuff, and I had a question like 5 minutes from now about radios. So you seem to know something about radios that I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Radios or I have no clue.
Okay,
what
well,
you're talking
just hold in the back of your head that Indy just broke the radio right here.
Okay.
Like he went
say
in
so.
and he got the jacket and then he smashed their radio.
Huh.
Yeah.
Just like in issue number 2 of Indiana Jones: The Further
Yeah.
Adventures by Marvel,
Yeah.
1983.
Oh my
That's
God.
exactly, yeah. If you listen to the Patreon show if you want to hear more.
Yeah.
I wonder if so Indy, let's say he beats this guy up and he takes the server's outfit, but now he's masquerading as a ticket taker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder if anybody would come out and be like, hey, yo, you got the wrong uniform on, buddy.
That's a good point. Unless the steward, like they all wore the same one.
Yeah, you're like a busboy.
The ticket taker wears a single-breasted.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the silver buttons.
But that raises a big question for me too. Has Indy finally learned German? Because he immediately comes out with tickets, ladies.
He said,
You know,
yeah, I think
he
tickets.
says Fahrscheine,
please.
meine Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says ticket, please, ma'am. And he either learned German since Raiders or else Elsa talks in her sleep.
That's what he's asking the guy as they're walking out the door. He's like, so, how do you say tickets, please?
How do you say
Yeah, no reason.
Well, I wondered,
I've always
is
just
he
wondered.
just super distracted and that's why he, blurts out English at first?
Maybe. Or, I mean, the real reason is probably like, I'm an American
No,
movie.
of course. That's a real
The audience has to know what I'm talking about.
Well, also, if the only flights were to the United States or South America, probably half the passengers would speak English.
No,
anyway,
that's a
so
great point.
It might
That's
be
a great point.
Yeah.
Half these people are from New Jersey.
Yeah.
There's something symbolic about the flowers in this airport and Zeppelin minutes. I'm not sure what it is, but like several minutes ago, they passed this stunning, lush green floral arrangement in the airport, and it's the only thing that sticks out at all, because everything is it basically in these German minutes is dichromatic. It's black and red, like everything. And then you see this for whatever reason. There's this like gorgeous green floral display, and then on all the tables here, there's three white. There's either three white flowers or two white flowers and a pink flower. It looks like a carnation. And then
Yeah, they look just like the red lapel carnations, except they're not red.
exactly. And then I noticed in this minute, there are again these like gorgeous floral displays behind Indy, and they stick out. And I'm wondering,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so what does it symbolize here?
They're moving towards life, like out of the place of death.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Moving
yes.
towards hope.
Maybe
Yeah.
the Grail is still alive.
Yeah, and then like Nazi Germany's just such an oppressive, this fascist place is so oppressive and
Keep
lifeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just means E.T. is really
Exactly.
healthy, right?
E.T.'s getting. That's what I was thinking. Maybe it's springtime in Germany.
Springtime for Hitler.
Do you think Vogel's going to be, he came to me? You can also see the captain, I think. Like when Indy first comes out, if you look above on that little railing, there's an upper section, and I think the captain's talking to a couple at a table.
I think that's a piano player. Oh,
Oh. Maybe?
No, because the piano player, I think, had a white dinner jacket.
like how much bigger did the Zeppelin have to be to accommodate a piano?
Just to get it on there, yeah.
yeah.
Like, well, it's another 20 feet long, but we can have a piano.
This thing's already huge. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. Two
And if you
pianos.
look, like all the furniture in these things is like super lightweight, like it's super lightweight metal, and everything's engineered so it'll be as light as possible. So it's pretty amazing that then they're like, okay, then put the 3,000-pound piano over there in the
That's
corner.
Yeah.
true.
Could just be a big plastic player piano. And it weighs like 20 pounds.
It's got a Casio keyboard in it.
Yeah.
He puts on the bossa nova.
And then there's also this wall art of balloons, like hot air balloons.
Yeah.
It's like, just let's harken back to a simpler time.
Yes. When people rode in balloons. Oh, wait.
They really could have done anything. It's not like anyone has any frame of reference for what a Zeppelin was like. There could have been water slides and dancing bears. It's like, well, that's how they were.
Yeah.
What do you know? Have you been on a Zeppelin? You don't know.
Right.
Do you guys know anybody who's been on a blimp or Zeppelin?
No.
No.
I don't.
People don't tend to talk about it. I think if you knew somebody, you would never know.
It's the first rule of Zeppelin Club.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We should all just shut up.
When I was a kid, I lived in Phoenix, and there was a Goodyear blimp station pretty close, and it would always fly over our house. And it was amazing because it used to have those. I don't know if you ever remember it in the 70s. It had those lights on the side. It'd be like race
yeah.
cars would go
Oh,
down
yeah.
and it'd show words, like in that kind of pixelated script.
It doesn't do that anymore?
I don't know. Does it still have that electronic, like that crazy electronic sign?
Oh yeah, now it's probably like some HD crazy
yeah.
thing. But
Yeah.
I think so. We always had the Fuji blimp here in Chicago. I feel like we
Oh,
always
yeah.
see the
Oh.
Fuji blimp.
You know what? I was
Don't see much of that anymore.
I was driving back from Long Beach up to L.A. and I passed where the Goodyear blimp is anchored. Yeah, it was just sitting there. I had no idea,
Yeah.
and I blew my mind. It was just sitting there.
Yeah. It's huge too.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Speaking of Long Beach, Pete, does the interior of this whole Zeppelin remind you of the Queen Mary?
Oh, yeah, it does.
No, I mean not the lady. The boat,
Yeah.
the ship, the Queen
Yeah.
Mary that's perpetually docked down in Long Beach. It does, right?
Yeah.
It's like sort of ornate and Art Deco, and it's got a little light thing, but a little bit of gilded luxury.
Yeah, I love all the Art Deco stuff in this movie, but I feel like
Yeah.
they need to have a thing where you can like spend a night like telling ghost stories on the Zeppelin. Like you can stay overnight on the Queen Mary now.
That's
It's like a
right.
fancy hotel.
I did I tell you I took the ghost tour of the
Oh,
Queen
yeah,
Ma-
yeah.
and the Queen Mary. Yeah, it starts at like 10:30 and it goes to like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was
Wow.
nuts. It takes you into the bowels of the ship and like you record everything and try and pick up weird ghost communications. It was actually really cool. I'd highly recommend it. It was fascinating.
Those are fun. I did one. We have the USS Hornet, the aircraft carrier here, and you can spend the night on that. And we did it one time for my birthday, but there were like 1,000 Cub Scouts also spending the night. And they had like at one point there was they had because it's another like haunted old ship, and they would the captain would come out and tell ghost stories, and he'd like put the flashlight under his chin, and he'd be like, in this spot this guy was killed by an anchor flying up, and then everybody would go, oh my god.
Oh yeah. It's funny. There's one of those on the Queen Mary. It's like exactly the same. It was like a door crushed a guy, and
Yeah,
his
it's always
ghost is
a
there,
yeah. Guy gets shot off the catapult or
guy gets shot up. I feel like this entire minute here is, or the scene is just it's just like a weird little vignette.
Sure. The music sort of
Yeah,
plays
it's
that
just
along,
it's just kind of it's just like a little one-act play. That happens to take place on a blimp,
yeah, I like
a
that.
Zeppelin.
I like that a lot. But one thing I'm curious about is where's Pat Roach? Because in the deleted scenes that we'll get to, I guess, I don't know if it's tomorrow or the next day, Pat Roach plays a big part, but he's still on the Zeppelin at this point. And like he doesn't get, punched out like Vogel does. And I'm wondering what is he doing? He's a Gestapo agent. Is he just sitting in the kitchen like eating?
yeah.
Like,
he's getting
why is he
free
not walking around
sandwiches.
questioning? Yeah.
Is this like, does this Zeppelin have more than one story?
I don't think so,
Well,
because
it's
I
got
took that.
catwalks and stuff.
Yeah, it does inside for like the crew.
Yeah.
But when I
That's
took
what
the
I'm-
tour of the Zeppelin cabin, it was just like they had the big open room like this, and then they had a hallway with rooms, and they're kind of like sleeping cars on a train, like they're these little cabins, and that was
Yeah.
it. Like it was just
Huh.
one level.
So yeah, where the hell is he?
Yeah, unless he's talking to the captain. But then how did Indy break the radio?
He's rifling through everyone's belongings in their cabin, stealing their stuff.
I hope so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, I found a fedora.
He's like icing his back from the injury in Cairo, and then he's
Right.
massaging his throat from like being hoisted up by the pulley. Temple
Yeah.
of Doom.
Poor guy. Vogel's obnoxious. There, I
Yeah.
said it. He's an obnoxious Nazi. Like the way he's going like person to person, just like just shoving their newspapers down with his baton.
Even
And,
the Germans don't like him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation.
I have known some rude Nazis in my day, but you take the cake.
Well, I wondered. That's I don't know if that's the most efficient way to check everybody has to like peel down the newspaper.
Right.
It seems like it's certainly for dramatic effect, but when you kept doing it to maybe 30 or 40 or 50 people in the airport, you know, you kind of like, I don't know, it kind of loses its spunk a little. You just keep pulling it down, and it's the wrong guy.
Well, you
over
can't
and
argue
over.
with success, Jerry. It finally works.
He got a nuspaper lowering cane for Christmas, and he doesn't want to waste it.
Yeah, come on.
Exactly.
Aunt Helen, I used your cane.
Yeah, I found an American.
But I'm not wearing the sweater.
Yeah, I'm never going to wear that thing.
But he's still got the paper upside down. And
Yeah.
it's funny because that might be what actually gives him away.
Yeah, yeah. I was wondering that. Yeah, if he just sees like the last newspaper he hasn't, messed up with his baton, or if he sees a guy obviously reading the paper upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I had this
I don't
whole
know
theory that maybe Henry was actually illiterate, but you saved me from that.
I ruined your notes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good.
He made it through 17 years of higher education without learning to read.
Yeah, he's just tracing everything this whole time. From,
Yeah.
like paintings and other books.
Yeah,
and
that's why
stuff.
that's why he's always drawing the pictures that he sees. He's
He
always
can't read.
that's why Marcus was always around. Marcus would read to him.
Yeah. Marcus is a prince. How dare you, Jerry? How dare you complain about Marcus? He reads to old Henry.
Is this we get the Guten Tag? Is that like a throwback to when they arrive in Malta on Raiders?
Does someone say? I don't remember what they say. Did they say that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the guy who finds them does. The
Yeah,
guy
the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who finds
Gets
yeah.
rucksack.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
That's
Yeah,
like
and he
saying
says
hello, isn't it? That's like,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a-
but it's a
Howdy.
it's a very specific, and it's both of them are like, it's kind of quiet. And,
Yeah.
it's a nice drawn out pregnant Guten Tag.
it's in a stolen uniform situation.
Exactly.
Rucksuckles may or
Yeah.
may not come into play.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Vogel's face when he
Yeah.
sees Indy.
Yeah.
Like every single part of his head reacts.
Yeah, it's
really
incredible.
It's really amazing.
Like his ears go back.
His ears. Yeah,
It's
he acts with his
amazing.
ears.
It's like he morphs through 3 different stages of incredulity.
Yeah.
Turns into Gollum for a second.
It's really crazy and amazing.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
still recognizes Indy faster than his own father does. Henry's like,
Right.
who is that? Why is he
He has that
interrupting
hit
my
on the base or
conversation?
anything.
I love that too. Yeah.
Oh man. And that punch, that's a gold standard Ben Burt punch when
Yeah.
he punches Vogel.
Yeah.
It's like he just hits him with the piano or something. Just such a huge,
that's
deep
true.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And the physics of the situation really outdo themselves getting him out the window from that position. Like he has to stumble. I don't think you could do it if you were trying to throw yourself out the window. You gotta
Yeah.
get around a table.
Yeah.
And then,
It's like Vogel probably had to put his leg up so he could put it, like clasp his hands underneath it so he could like step up into his hand and then jump out the window.
Oh no, don't. You're throwing me out the window. Stop it.
nailed it.
I'm going to fall. Poor Vogel.
Yeah.
Well, do we have anything else for minute 73?
Nope.
Jared, do we?
No.
Jer?
Oh.
Do we have anything else?
Yes, just in
Oh.
from Professor Chrissy Porter.
Hey.
Hey.
Why did Indiana Jones do something so public?
Yeah.
That's
I
a
don't know
good
what else he's
point,
gonna
actually.
do,
It's a
though.
good
Yeah. I don't
question.
think he had a choice. Like I was wondering how else could he get out of this? And it's
He's in a contained room with like 50 people. Like,
Yeah.
oh. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, we talked about other times. There are times where he surrenders,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like we even saw like several minutes back. Like he just up and surrenders, puts his hands up. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he you can see almost the quick calculation that goes across his
Yeah,
face.
it's just a quick. Yeah, and surrendering seems like such a pain in the ass.
Because
You know
then
what
you'd
I
have to
mean?
break out of a Nazi prison, and that's going to be a lot.
Yeah,
more
and the
work.
whole thing. Or you're
Yeah.
eventually after gonna turn the tables on the Nazis at some point. So it might as well be right now in this minute.
Yeah. And he might have really just wanted to fly in a Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. I already bought the tickets.
We had a beeline for that desk. He wasn't even going to try to get on an airplane.
Right.
The rest of the staff of the Zeppelin doesn't seem to have a problem with it.
No. Yeah.
No.
We've been troubled by stowaways for years. Finally, someone's doing something about it.
Finally, yeah. No ticket. No way you're not going out the window.
He says what we all want to say.
You're our new favorite steward, Indiana Jones. Thank God for you. Thank God you're aboard.
Wait, you don't actually work here? Ah,
Well, you should.
thought this place was finally coming around.
I think that's actually weirdly accurate, though, because a lot of people really hated SS officers. Like, people would be having dinner, and even if they were Nazis, like an SS officer would come in, and everyone would be like, "Oh God, we gotta watch what we say." Like, everyone all of
Yeah.
a sudden everything is
Watch
really
your
tense.
newspaper.
Yeah, and so when Indy kicks him out, it's like, "Oh hey, we can relax."
Yeah. Well, if that does it for minute 73, Evan. Actually, you know what, Evan? We didn't ask Ryan this, but we should ask you. How would you rank these 2 or 3 or 4 Indiana Jones movies? Where does Last Crusade land in your ranking of these?
You know, I'm tempted to say it's my favorite one,
Oh,
even though
okay.
I know in my heart it's not actually. I know it's not the best movie. The first one is, but I've seen this movie way more than I've seen the other two. I've seen it a million times. It just like it came out at a point in my life when I just was ready for it, I guess. So I love The Last Crusade. I'd say 1, 3, 2 is officially what it is my ranking, but it's pretty close between 1 and 3.
That's
Nice.
fun.
Yeah.
I respect that. I mean, you're wrong, but I respect it. That's beautiful.
Fair enough. One of my best friends in college used to always say this was a perfect movie. And my argument was always, it just happens to be in the next minute. The one flaw in this movie.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Quite a tease.
That is
Yeah.
really my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, that is.
Glad I asked.
So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, everyone's got to come back tomorrow for 74 to find out what that flaw is. But in the meantime, where can people find you online, and what are you working on these days?
You can find me online on Twitter at Evan Jacover, and I'm spend most of my time working at Jackbox Games and making video games, and we have a whole new Jackbox Party Pack coming out this fall, hopefully around October-ish, and it's going to have 5 games, and one of them is going to be a new version of You Don't Know Jack, and I think we're all pretty excited about it.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
I've enjoyed those in the past.
Good.
And everybody else, please come back tomorrow for minute 74. But before you do that, while you're waiting, you should come join us at the Indiana Jones Minute and the Listener's Crusade over on Facebook, and chat about the differences between blimps and Zeppelins, and the best way to get out of a sticky situation with the SS when you're in an enclosed space with about 50 people. And only small-sized steward jackets. That's your homework assignment, so just do it. And spelling counts. No fun on this show, only homework. So fill all that out and meet back here tomorrow for minute 74 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute. Vogel.
You say Vogel?
It always feels weird calling him Vogel. We're told that it's pronounced Vogel, but it seems very
Vogel,
strange to
yeah.
me.
Yeah, V's pronounced like an F in German.
It's not how V's work.
It's not Vogel?
It's spelled Vogel. I'm going to go back to saying Vogel.
No, I say Vogel because it's written by Americans, and it's like,
Yeah.
It's like when you're speaking English, it's sometimes weird when you pronounce a foreign word with a foreign accent.
Yeah.
Like with the actual the way they would pronounce it.
It sounds affected.
Yeah.
And it makes you want to say Dan Fogelberg. It's really annoying.
Yeah. Well, I like, for instance, Saint Flosculus, the Bishop of Orleans. Or
Yeah.
like of
Right.
Orleans.
And like Jerry,
Yeah.
you didn't say amuse-bouche yesterday.
That's right.
No, I would never.
No, you were like
say
amuse-bouche.
Amuse bouche.
Yeah, amuse-bouche.
Let's scratch it.
That's a good question. It sounds affected and weird.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds like you're talking and then you have this paroxysm. All of a sudden, a quick,
Yeah.
and you become somebody else, like
Yeah.
some.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
become
Where'd Jerry
some
go?
Frenchman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you turn back into yourself really
Oh,
quickly, like a weird shapeshifter
I just missed the
from a
Frenchman
foreign
who was
land.
here.
Yeah.
The only downside is that then Doris ends up screaming at her phone.
I know. Sorry, Doris.
And that's fair. That's fair. Sorry, Doris.
Indiana Jones Minute.
Hey, Doris.
Doris!